Now,
let's sit down and get real for a second. This one ain't just about dating. This is about you, your heart, your past, and why love feels so dang hard sometimes. See, everybody wants love. That ain't new. Everybody wants someone to ride with, build with, feel safe with. But the truth, a whole lot of folks out here are trying to love from a place that's never been healed. And I'm talking childhood. I'm talking what you saw growing up, what you didn't get, what made you feel like you had to earn love instead of just receiving it. Because when you're raised in a house where love felt inconsistent or performance-based or just plain absent, that leaves a mark. And it don't go away just because you turned 30 and got a good job. You might find yourself chasing people who don't love you back or pushing people away the moment they get too close, or always needing to fix folks to feel needed. And you wonder why. Why do I keep ending up here? I'll tell you why. Because your love life is often just a reflection of the wounds you ain't healed yet. But here's the good news. You ain't stuck. You can learn, you can grow, and you can stop repeating the same painful patterns. Today we're breaking it all the way down. Childhood trauma, how it shows up in love, and most importantly, how to heal from it. Because real love, it don't live in your past. It starts with what you choose to do now. Now, before you go thinking, childhood trauma, that ain't me. I had a roof over my head. My parents weren't perfect, but they did their best. Let me break something down for you. Trauma isn't always about what happened. Sometimes it's about what didn't happen. The hugs you didn't get, the I love yous you never heard, the moments you needed to be seen and nobody was looking. Maybe nobody hit you, but they ignored you. Maybe they didn't scream at you, but they made you feel invisible. And little you took all that in. And you grew up thinking, love means being quiet. Or I gotta earn love by being perfect. See, childhood trauma is anything that taught you to hide who you are just to feel safe. And that lesson, it follows you into adulthood like a shadow, into your friendships, your dating, your marriage. So yeah, trauma don't always look like chaos. Sometimes it looks like silence. And healing starts when you finally recognize that truth. Let's talk about this real quick. What you saw growing up versus what you learned from it. Because those two, they ain't always the same thing, but they shape your relationships just the same. See, maybe you saw your parents argue all the time. You saw love look like yelling, slamming doors, silent treatment. So now what? You learn that love equals chaos. That if it ain't dramatic, it must not be real. Or maybe you saw parents stay quiet all the time, walking on eggshell. No affection, no connection, just two people living in the same house passing each other like strangers. And somewhere along the line, you start to believe that's what love is. That love means holding back, not needing too much, not being too much. And maybe it wasn't just what you saw. Maybe you didn't see a relationship at all. Maybe your mama did it all by herself. Maybe your dad wasn't around. So what did that little version of you learn? You learned not to depend on anybody. You learned love isn't safe, that people leave, so you gotta handle it all on your own. But listen closely, listen to me, and hear me good. What you saw growing up, that was their story, not yours. What you learned, that was survival, but it wasn't the truth. Just because love looked broken back then doesn't mean your future has to look the same. Now here's the thing, you will keep repeating that old pattern until you bring it into the light. You gotta ask yourself, what did I learn about love as a child? And is that belief helping me or hurting me now? Because awareness, that's step one. When you see the pattern, you can break it. When you change what you believe about love, you change how you do love. Now, let's take it a little deeper. Because childhood trauma, it doesn't always look like a big, dramatic moment. Sometimes it shows up in the quiet stuff, the things no one talks about. But those wounds, they don't go away on their own. And they do follow you into your relationships. So let's name the 4 big ones. Wound number 1, abandonment. Somebody walked out, or maybe they stayed, but they weren't really there. So now you chase love, you overthink, You panic when someone pulls back. You're always scared they'll leave, so you try to hold on too tight. Number 2, neglect. And I'm not talking food or clothes. I mean emotional neglect. Nobody asked how you felt. Nobody saw you. So now you stuff your feelings down. You say you're fine when you're anything but. You don't trust anyone to really show up because they never did before. Number 3, criticism. Maybe you were never enough for someone growing up. Too loud, too quiet, too emotional. Now you doubt yourself. You shrink to fit. You look to others to tell you you're okay. You think love has to be earned, so you hustle for it. And number 4, enmeshment. This one's sneaky. You were the strong one, the caretaker, the one who had to grow up too fast. So now you don't ask for help. You attract broken people, try to fix them, and call that love. Let me tell you something. These wounds don't just disappear. They show up in who you choose, in what you tolerate, in how you react when someone gets close. And the wild part, they don't show up wearing name tags. They slide in through your fears, your triggers, your habits. You meet someone good, someone who sees you, and what do? You pull back. Not because you don't like them, but because deep down, love feels unsafe. You don't have to stay stuck in those same old patterns. You don't have to keep reliving the same hurt in different people. You can learn a new way to love one that feels safe, honest, and real. And when you do, that's when everything starts to shift. Maybe you fall fast and hard, texting nonstop, needing constant reassurance, not because you're clingy, but because deep down you're scared they'll disappear. That's the fear of neglect still whispering in your ear. Or maybe you keep picking people who need fixing, who treat you like a backup plan. But you stay because some part of you hopes that if you just love them enough, maybe they'll finally choose you. That's the wound of not feeling good enough, still trying to prove itself. See, trauma doesn't just live in your past, it lives in your patterns. And if you don't face those wounds, you start thinking that dysfunction is just how love's supposed to feel. But hear me now, your past, it might explain the pain, but it does not get to define your future. All right, now let's talk about what really matters, breaking the cycle. Awareness is powerful, but transformation, that's where the real work begins. It's not enough to say, yeah, I had a rough childhood. You gotta decide, does this pain stop with me, or am I gonna keep bleeding on people who didn't even cut me? Breaking the cycle means looking in the mirror and saying, I'm not gonna run from love no more. I'm not gonna chase people just to feel worthy. I'm not gonna shrink myself to feel safe. It means choosing healing even when it's uncomfortable. It means learning better tools, having deeper conversations, setting boundaries your younger self never had the power to set. It ain't easy, but just because something was passed down doesn't mean it has to be passed on. Now let's slow it down for a second, because this next part, this might be the most powerful step you ever take, healing your inner child. See, inside every grown man or woman is a little version of you, the little boy who felt invisible, the little girl who thought she had to earn love just to be wanted. That kid didn't just disappear. They've been riding shotgun in every relationship, every argument, every moment you pulled away or clung too tight. Healing your inner child doesn't mean blaming your parents forever. It means reparenting yourself. Saying to that younger you, you're safe now. You don't have to prove anything. You are already enough. It means giving yourself grace for the choices you made when you didn't know better, and choosing differently now that you do. It's about tuning in to your own needs instead of abandoning them, setting boundaries without guilt, trusting your voice, honoring your heart, because when you start to care for that younger version of you, you stop needing other people to do it for you. And that right there, that's where the real healing begins. Your love ain't perfect, but it's safe. It holds you when you're scared. It doesn't weaponize your vulnerability. It shows up consistently, especially when life gets hard. That's what you deserve. But you'll never get it if you keep entertaining your old wounds. You can't attract healthy love with a heart that only knows pain. Let me leave you with this. You're not broken. You're not too much. You're just hurt. But that hurt, it can heal. Start listening to that little version of you. Tell them you don't have to beg anymore. You don't have to prove yourself to be loved. You are already enough. And when you believe that, that's when everything changes. Drop a comment if this hit home. And if you're ready to break the cycle, subscribe, because we're just getting started.